Live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, AKTDH. I am Alexander, UVRU. We will be joined by the Golden Loon here shortly. Today is, of course, Saturn's Day, aka Saturday, July 25th, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that happened today throughout the annals of recorded history. We have a 43-page document to go through. So let's get started today, shall we? In the year 306, Constantine I was proclaimed Roman Emperor by his troops. Moving on up to 315, the Arch of Constantine was completed near the Colosseum in Rome to commemorate Constantine I's victory over Maxentius at the Milvian Bridge. And I do have an image of that right there. That's it right there. Really cool angle and differences in color based off of the sun. That's actually really nifty. And other images of this triumphal arch right here. As welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And you are
Golden Loon.
Hey, welcome. Yeah, this is near the Colosseum, as I mentioned earlier, as calling it incorrectly the Colosseum. You know, I love.
Too noisy up?
No, it should be fine. Like I hope. If it's not, there's nothing we can do. You know, you gotta stay cool. You know,
yeah.
So. 677, climax of the siege of Thessalonica by the Slavs in a 3-day assault on the city walls. 864, the Edict of Pistorius of Charles the Bald ordered defensive measures against the Vikings. Yeah, gonna need to do that. 918, Wang Guion became king of Goryeo after overthrowing Gung Yi in a coup the previous day. 1120, a large fire in Church of Saint Madeleine of Vézelay, France, killed 1,000 pilgrims and seriously damaged the church. Wow. How many were in there? Like, how big is this church? What is this church? Like, if they didn't rebuild it. You were going to say something?
No.
We of course have AI images here. This is coming up as well. I think we've covered this. This is the one where one of the towers was destroyed and never rebuilt or something. Because it used to have 2 bell towers.
Oh, okay.
Like a proper cathedral. But one just was never rebuilt.
What church is this now?
We're talking about the Church of Saint Madeleine of Vézelay in France, but this is Basquille de Santa Marie Madeleine, Banque de Bank of Photographs in French, I guess. So I wonder if this church was because it was seriously damaged. So I wonder if they demolished it and built a cathedral where the church was.
I would doubt it.
But if it killed 1,000 people, then you know. It wasn't just like a rinky-dink little church. Like,
no.
This shows a whole cathedral. This is AI image here.
Yeah.
But then this shows a rinky-dink church. You know? So, which one is it? That
I'm going with the big one
still
for
looks,
1,000 people.
Yeah. So, maybe this is the same church, because that could probably hold 1,000 people easy.
Yeah.
You know? So, anyway, moving on up to 1139, Count Alfonso I of Portugal was proclaimed king. Hello, welcome. The Alpha and the whatever the rest of your name is. Omega. Oh, okay. Hello, welcome to the show. From other sources, says the Battle of Ourique, the Almoravids, led by Ali ibn Yusuf, were defeated by Prince Alfonso Henriques, who was proclaimed king of Portugal. So that gives us a little bit more meat on the bones of that article. This just says he was proclaimed king. This tells us why it happened. 1139 as well, Pope Innocent II was confirmed in the Treaty of Megano, the investiture of the sons of Roger II of Sicily to their fiefs, and abandoned support for the barons opposed to Roger. 1261, Constantinople was recaptured by Nicaean forces under Alexios Strategopoulos for Emperor Michael VIII, re-establishing Byzantine Empire. That's pretty cool. Like, re-establishing the Byzantine Empire? Yeah, that's pretty big. 1360, Jews were expelled from Breslau and Silesia. Here we go again. Why? You know, it's not going to be our only Jew article of this date in history today. 1441, King Henry VI of England laid the foundation stone for King's College Chapel in Cambridge. Now we have a discrepancy, because this says 1441. And then in 1446, we have foundation stone was laid for King's College Chapel in Cambridge by King Henry VI, one of England's finest medieval buildings. The main structure was completed in 1515. So, did I screw up and put in 1441 and not 1446? Let's see here. From the secondary source in which this says... no, it says 1441 right here. Like, if you can read that or something. So... yeah, we have a discrepancy. Second source says 41, Primary source says 46. So we know the calendar date, just 5 years difference there.
Yeah.
1467, the Battle of Molenia, the first battle in Italy in which firearms were used extensively. They're coming in. Guns. Here we go. Guns a-blazing. But yeah, we have artists' renditioning of that. Look at that. I'm not sure if that's AI or what. Let's see here. What is he saying? LOL. Alright. But yeah. Guns making their way to Europe. This is big. So, the 1510 Spanish conquest of Tripoli by Pedro Navarro for Aragon crown. Over 3,000 were killed and more than 5,000 inhabitants were enslaved. What else do you say? What are we doing? We are doing this date in history. We do this every day at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We are currently in the year 1511. Portuguese forces under Alfonso de Albuquerque first assaulted the prosperous trading city of Malacca, Malay Peninsula. To give you a little bit more information on this Alpha and Omega guy, this shows about things that we find interesting and important that happened on this calendar date throughout all the years of history. So everything that we're reading happened on July 25th throughout all the different years. So, what else do we got here? 1511, 1519. Let me get rid of this really quick. There we go. 1519, San Cristobal de la Habana formed in Cuba. I wonder what that is. Is that like a political party or something? You're going, whoa.
I don't know. It's that early.
Havana. Oh, okay. It was a Spanish territory by then.
Yeah.
In the 1500s.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and I believe that was the name. San Cristobal de la Habana is actually Havana, Cuba.
Yeah.
So it became Havana. So this is the birthday of Havana. So happy birthday, Havana. 1521, about 300 heretics burned in Vrije de Market, Ghent, for the emperor. 1536, Sebastian de Belalcázar, on his search to El Dorado, founded the city of Santiago de Cali. Oh. All right, another city born. I think we have another one or two, actually. We have one right here. 1538, the city of Guayaquil was founded by the Spanish conquistador Francisco de Orellana and given the name Muy Noble y Muy Leal Ciudad de Santiago de Guayaquil. If you can pronounce this better than me, go for it.
Wow.
I tried. Mi hablo poquito español. So, perdón. So, 1567, Don Diego de Losada founded the city of Santiago de Leon de Caracas, modern-day Caracas, the capital city of Venezuela.
Yeah.
Dude, is it Capital City Day or something? What is going on?
I wonder if Don Diego had anything to do with the founding of San Diego.
You know what? Hold on a second. Founder of San Diego, which of course, according to Ron Burgundy, is Spanish for a whale's vagina. Let's see here. Having experience. His first area to San Diego has been described. Explorer Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo was the first European to discover San Diego Bay in 1542, roughly 200 years before other Europeans settled the area. Okay, so San Diego officially became part of the U.S. in 1848. The town was named the seat of San Diego County when California was granted statehood in 1850. If it's not telling me about who it's named after.
Name, no.
So, who is San Diego named after? Let's see here. San Diego, okay, nickname is America's finest city. It is not. Birthplace of California, maybe. And city in motion. Why is my quality taking a shit on the camera?
It is.
Yeah. Hold on a second. One moment. The Rumble people, I'm going to try to fix something here. So configure video, camera control. Turn back on autofocus. So there we go. What is going on? Why are you pixelating on me? Video proc, camera control, whatever.
I may have broken the camera.
Maybe. So, oh well. Anyway, we're going to continue on. The quality is not going to be okay, but anyway, if anybody wants to look that up, though, tell us what San Diego, who San Diego named after. Like if it's anybody, let us know in the comments. Moving on to 1570, Battle of Arnay-le-Duc, Burgundy. Huguenot victory forces Charles IX of France to agree to a peace treaty that ended the Third War of Religion. 1585, Amsterdam banned 45 Roman Catholics. It's weird. Like, why? That's a specific number. So, Amsterdam bans.
There.
Maybe. It's just telling me that it happened. So, another thing. Like, if anybody wants to look this up, let us know. Why this happened. That'd be great. 59-3, France's Protestant King Henry IV converted to Roman Catholic faith. So Henry IV of France publicly converted from Protestantism to Roman Catholicism, which is big because back in those days, usually the country kind of follows suit.
Yeah.
Especially religiously. So, 1609, Admiral George Somers scuttled the Sea Venture in eastern Bermuda, Bahama, the storm-damaged flagship of the London Company bound for Jamestown, Virginia. Survivors constructed 2 new ships and continued on to resupply the embattled colony. Thank you for that. So the survivors went on to found a new colony there. That's pretty cool. I'm really annoyed by, hold on a second. Let's see if this will work. Let's see. Nope, it's not gonna unblur. So, oh well. Let's see if that works. I don't know. I don't know how to fix this. I'm not a computer guy. It's driving me annoying though.
When you put it down smaller, it was less.
Well, yeah, because it's smaller.
Okay, so leave it smaller.
Well, no, but the whole point is to have it like this.
Yeah.
So, 1645, important royalist base Scarborough Castle surrendered to parliamentarians after one of the bloodiest sieges of the English Civil War. 1668, a magnitude 8.5 earthquake struck eastern China, killing over 43,000 people. He said he had to go. It's 3 a.m. Okay, yeah, go to bed. Oh, no. Okay, now the quality's better. He was sucking the broadband, that's why. Rest well, my friend. 1670, Austrian Emperor Leopold I expelled 4,000 Jews from Vienna. Here we go again. Yeah. Why? So why did this do that? That was weird. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of this article really quick. This is telling me about Leopold I. So anyway, 1693, Ignacio de Maya founded the Real Santiago de las Sabanas, now known as Sabanas Hidalgo, Nuevo León, and Mexico. Okay. 1722, the 3 Years' War began along the Maine and Massachusetts border, also known as Drummers' War, because it also began along the Maine-Massachusetts border on the same year, according to other source. So it has to be the same conflict. And it's not outlandish for a conflict to have multiple names. I mean, most conflicts. I don't think we've seen one conflict that did not have more than one name.
I don't know.
Like every battle, every fight, every war, everything has multiple names. 1729, North Carolina became a royal colony. Cool. 1755, British Governor Charles Lawrence and the Nova Scotia Council ordered the deportation of the Acadians. What did they do? And who were they? Was that a native group, or were they some? They sound like expulsion of the.
What's going on in Nova Scotia?
I don't know, but we have a Wikipedia article here, so let's see here. Acadian expulsion. Put that there. This link and any other link that we gather throughout the show will appear in the other bar of the description below. After the live stream, we already have a lot of cool things down there, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition, links to our various sources, and music in the background, and a handful of other little nifty things. But it says here, the expulsion of the Acadians was the forced removal of the French colonists of the North American region, historically known as Acadia, between 1755 and 1764 by Great Britain. It included the modern Canadian maritime provinces of Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island, along with part of the U.S. state of Maine. The expulsion occurred during the French and Indian War, the North American theater of the 7 Years' War. Of an estimated 14,100 Acadians, approximately 11,500 were deported, of whom 5,000 died of disease, starvation, or shipwrecks. Their land was given to settlers loyal to Scotland. The event is largely regarded as a crime against humanity, though the modern-day use of the term genocide is debated by scholars. It wasn't really a genocide, but it was on its way to it, short of killing them, this was the worst thing that you can do to a people. Because they were French, English. So we were talking about this the other day, about French and English and everything, and just even yesterday, I read something about Charles de Gaulle, and a lot of the non-French people were all pissed off. It's like, man, dude, people need to stop hating each other so much. It's just ridiculous. Well, moving on up, 1758, 7 Years' War, the island battery at Fortress Louisbourg in Nova Scotia was silenced and all French warships were destroyed or taken. So this has to be part of the French-Indian War. that we're just talking about.
Yeah.
And here we go again, some more. In 1759, British captured Fort Niagara from the French during the 7 Years' War. Or during the 7 Years' War. Okay, that's weird. French and Indian War. In western New York, British forces captured Fort Niagara from the French, who subsequently abandoned Fort Feuilly. We also have 1775, Maryland issued currency depicting British King George III trampling on the Magna Carta. That's...
Whoa.
That's, yeah. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. I think. Oh, yeah. So he's riding a chariot. There's the Magna Carta just getting ridden over by the chariot. And I think maybe he's portraying him as the Pharaoh chasing Moses. I don't know.
I don't get that, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, King George was a piece of shit. 1783, during the American Revolutionary War, the war's last action, the siege of Cuddalore, was ended by a preliminary peace agreement. Cool. 1788, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart completed his Symphony No. 40 in G minor, K550, and I actually have right here, if anybody wants to listen to it. So let's see here. Mozart's SYMPHONY number 40. Okay, put that there. All right. What else do we got here? Moving on up to 1792. Dutch patriots in exile founded Bataaf's Legion. What is that? Do a surface level scratch of that article really quick. And yeah, we've covered that. We're not there yet, but we will be soon. Bataaf's Legion. Okay, here it is. Okay. See, it's this is in German, so I'm not going to be able to read this.
No,
So,
you don't. Can't read German? What's the matter with you?
I'm not German. That's what's the matter with me. I'm just going to put this in here. If anybody wants to utilize this or, yeah. Let us know what the heck this Bataaf's Legion is, in the comment section.
In English.
Yes, in English. That'd be nice. 1792, the Brunswick Manifesto was issued to the population of Paris, promising vengeance if the French royal family is harmed. Sounds a little self-serving there. 1795, the first stone of the Pontifical Aqueduct was laid. And here it is, right there. That's the aqueduct.
Oh, that's the aqueduct.
Still standing
Isn't that
today.
cool?
Yeah, it looks like it's going across, and then they just have it continuing on right there.
Yeah.
That's
exactly
awesome.
What it is.
That's
That's
cool.
the Romans for you.
No, this is 1795.
I think it was built by the Romans, wasn't it?
In 1795?
Well, it was built in 1795. Oh, then it can't be. No.
Yeah, no, this was the first stone. I mean,
Okay,
people have made
you're right,
aqueducts since the Romans.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a metal aqueduct.
Yeah.
Maybe on top of ancient Roman. But no, this was like a new aqueduct.
Yeah.
And actually, this is it right here. Like all of these pictures, these are it. So it looks like you can. It's actually a transport aqueduct. So you can ride. I've seen videos of these little boats out in Europe and everything.
Yeah, we can go down. I've seen them in France and England. You can go down the Nile, not the Nile, the
Thames.
Yeah, and then the one in England also. So there's all kinds of cruise ships and stuff. So this is probably
no,
similar.
No.
Or these could be owned by people.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's a whole there's a whole industry and people do live on these and everything. But they're these tiny boats and they go across all the aqueducts and everything all over Europe. It's awesome. It's like a freeway made of water, to these people. It's epic.
It's pretty cool to take a month or two or whatever and go travel like that all over Europe.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
1797, Horatio Nelson lost more than 300 men and his right arm during the failed conquest attempt of Terran of Spain. Didn't we talk about this yesterday where the guy lost, he had to amputate his arm or something? Was that this guy as well? Horatio Nelson? Let's see here. This was in 1795. So let's see here. 1797, 1779. This was supposed to be in 1795. What the heck? It's just telling me naval career. Okay, personal life. What happened to 79? Why is it 1795 not in here? 1797, 1779. This is weird. It's... Oh, wait, no. Oh, I'm reading the wrong one. Okay, 1797. Duh, I'm stupid. Okay. Let's see, 1797, more than 300 men. Or maybe this one, maybe that was something else. Anyway, what else do we got here? 1814, Battle of Niagara Falls, Lundy's Lane, the bloodiest battle of the War of 1812, ended in a stalemate between invading Estonian army and Canadian and British forces. So a Estonian attack on Canada was repulsed during the War of 1812. 1814 as well, English engineer George Stephenson introduced his first steam locomotive, a traveling engine designed for hauling coal on the Killingworth wagonway named Blucher. And I do have an image of that.
Oh.
That's obviously not the same thing, but like you know,
Right.
it's that's what it looked like at least. So let's do an image search of this thing really quick because there were some other cool images just to show, you know, that was it. You know, like very basic of basics, like really cool. 1822, General Augustin de Ertebrid was crowned Augustin I, the first emperor of Mexico. All right. 1824, Costa Rica annexed Guanacaste from Nicaragua. 1830, Charles X signed the July Ordinances, suspending freedom of the press, among other effects. That doesn't sound good. Look at this guy. He looks like a douche. 1832, first railway accident in the United States. Granite Railway, Quincy, Massachusetts, killed one. So one person died. First railway accidents ever, you know, in the United States. So here you go. The first recorded railroad accident in U.S. history occurred when 4 people were thrown off a vacant car on the Granite Railway near Quincy, Massachusetts. So one of those 4 did not make it, unfortunately. 1835, Ibrahim Pasha's army attacks Jewish settlers in Hebron, Palestine. You know, like, that just made me realize, if that really was, like, you know, their promised land, how come they lost it? You know?
Well,
Like,
people
and how
lose
come?
a lot of things.
Well, but if it was their
course.
promised land, then it's theirs. They're promised it, and they actually had to fight and kill entire peoples to take that land from them. There were already people there, so you know, like Moses led an extinction, you know, of all other humans living there, and then they settled, and then the Crusades came in. Actually, no. I'm not sure if the Crusades came in and kicked out the Jews, or if I think the Muslims came in and kicked out the Jews, and then the Crusades came in and kicked out the Muslims, and then the Muslims came in and kicked the Christians back out. I don't know my exact history, but I mean, you know,
The point being, promised land has nothing to do with keeping land.
then how is it promised? What's the promise of? That you have it, ultimately to lose it?
That's your
What's the point of
promised
having
land.
it?
If you don't keep it, then you lose it.
So it's not, you know, so there we go. It's not Israel.
What?
Yeah.
How do you connect that? No, go on. Just go on.
Anyway, 1835, James Bowman Lindsay demonstrated a constant electric light at a public meeting in Dundee, Scotland. And like, I don't want to get too much into it, but like anybody out there watching, like, you know, look into the Century Light. Like, there is a thing, it's planned obsolescence. We have the technology. We've had the technology for well over 100 years to make something last for a whole life. Like the Century Light is called such because it's been on for a century. Like, it hasn't been turned off, it hasn't been replaced. You know, like, but companies figured out, oh hey, if we actually make good things, people will only buy it once, and then that's it. So they intentionally make things, and they've gotten really off the deep end with this, but they intentionally make things with subpar quality, subpar processes, and like resources, intentionally to make a less than good product, and they sell you crap. You're literally buying garbage from these companies, thinking it's good, you know? So it really makes you think, you know, about capitalism.
It's called planned obsolescence.
Yes. It's called, I don't want to, you know, financially support these things. You know, they deserve to go under. That's evil. I'm just trying to find an image of this light, you know, the various light bulbs and everything. The wonderful lights that you just turn on. Yeah. What else do we got here? 1837, the first commercial use of an electric telegraph was successfully demonstrated by William Cook and Charles Wheaston between Euston and Camden Town in London. It's pretty cool.
Oh, geez, that's
Yeah. Here's an image of it right there. Well, 1850, gold was discovered on the Rogue River in Oregon. 1854, Walter Hunt received the first U.S. patent for a paper shirt collar. Oh, look at that. Back before we had, you know, a collar. Well, this isn't really much of a collar, but yeah, you just, you know, had a starch-ass piece of paper and just, you know, just stuffed it in there.
Yeah. Well, your collar
And that was
was
your
separate
collar.
at one time.
Yeah. Yeah, check that out. Various different styles and everything. Man, like, how do you like to be in a stuffy ass wool suit with like a paper
please.
collar that's
Please.
starch rubbing your neck?
105 out.
Yeah. No wonder everybody, jumped off buildings during the Great Depression. It wasn't because they lost everything, it was because they're tired of dressing like that. 1860, first U.S. intercollegiate billiard match, Harvard versus Yale. Okay. Yeah. Do a quick search versus, actually, hold on a second, didn't pick up the Yale part. There we go. So, yeah, just want to, first intercollegiate competition had corporate ties. Harvard versus Yale in Crewe, 1852. So wait, that was 8 years before this. It was sponsored by a railroad promoting a nearby resort. The rematch brought the first... so this is not the first U.S. This says 1852.
Ah.
So in primary source says 1860. Like, right here.
Yeah.
Well, 1861, Crittenden Resolution was passed stating that the war was to be fought to preserve the Union and uphold the Constitution, not to alter slavery. So yeah, no, that's why I said earlier, like the Civil War, ultimately it became into about slavery, and how wrong it was and everything.
Yeah.
But when it first started, and like, as much as I hate to say this, the Confederacy was 100% right and within their legal rights to do what they did as far as seceding, because the federal government, the North, the Union, kept making promises that they would not uphold. They would not, return escaped slaves in the North back to the South and various things like that. So they literally had no representation. They had no reason to be part of a country that will not honor their word to them and not give them adequate representation. Also, so they seceded. So the whole point of the Civil War was to assert our authority over them. I would say in an actual fascist way, legitimately fascist way. Our authority over them, despite not promising and not upholding, like, the freaking Constitution and everything. Like, the South, like, slavery was wrong. Don't get me wrong. But the reason why
Well, a lot
was
of
100%
stuff in the
justified.
South
It's
is not quite the way you're saying it, because yes,
Well, what do you mean it's not quite the way I'm saying it?
because the North is trying to demand the South to abide by the rules established, and slavery doesn't fit into that very well.
Slavery wasn't illegal yet.
I know.
So,
But
so what rules
all
were they
men are
breaking?
created equal. All of that doesn't fit into that scenario.
Okay, well,
So things start breaking down.
slavery was still legal. George Washington had slaves. Like all the founding fathers had slaves.
Yeah.
So, and see, that's the thing. At the time, they didn't view blacks as equal men because they didn't view them as men. They viewed them as animals. They viewed them as construction equipment, alive construction equipment, but no different than a horse.
That's the 3/5 law.
Yeah, well, that was later on.
I know.
It's called a compromise, not a
Yeah.
law. It was a law, but it was called a compromise.
No, it wasn't a law. It never became law.
Yeah, but it was called a compromise to compromise.
Yeah.
And which, like, wasn't to where we wanted it, but it was going the right way.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, is the South seceded 100% justifiably, not because of slavery. I do not agree with the slavery, but because they weren't, having their rights honored.
Promises to them weren't upheld.
Yes, the slavery was not illegal, so there wasn't anything that the North was doing illegal. Well, no, as far as that the South was doing illegal, the North was doing illegal by not sending back the escaped slaves. Now, I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta look. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And if you want to use law, well, slavery was legal, apartheid was legal, Nazism was legal. Just because it was legal doesn't make it right. Okay, so with that in mind, really dissect the problem. The South was in the right as far as not getting adequate representation and the word of the North honored. And right here, as we just read, the United States Congress passed the Crittenden-Johnson resolution stating that the war is being fought to preserve the Union and not to end slavery in the wake of the defeat at the First Battle of Bull Run.
Yeah,
So
I agree with
Lincoln
100%.
later turned it into about slavery as a moral justification to keep the spirits up to keep the war going. Otherwise, the North would have petered out, and they'd have to sue for peace and surrender, and then the South would win and secede
We
successfully.
have two different countries today.
Yes. So like slavery, being like turning it into against slavery was morally good thing to do. At the same time, it was highly manipulative in order to get us to win, because that was no longer the original cause of the war. Which, in my opinion, if your cause of war shifts, then what's the point of starting it to begin with? Like, you can't change your mind as to why you started attacking somebody. Well, they attacked first, but still,
They declared separation, and the North didn't accept it. That's what starts the war.
Yeah, they didn't accept it, even though that. Well, anyway,
Yeah,
it's
let's move
30 after. We got to keep on going. 1866, David Farragut was appointed as the first admiral in the U.S. Navy. That's why we have the ship called the Farragut. We also have Ulysses S. Grant was named the first general of the Army. The United States Congress passed legislation authorizing the rank of general of the Army. Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant became the first to be promoted to this rank. I think it was the first actual official 5-star general, and George Washington was later honorarily promoted to that, so that way he would be the first.
Yeah.
And there's only been a handful. Eisenhower was one. 1868, U.S. Congress formed the Wyoming Territory from parts of the Dakota, Utah, and Idaho territories. 1869, the Japanese daimyos began returning their land holdings to the emperor as part of the Meiji Restoration reforms. The traditional Japanese date is June 17, 1869. 1871, carousel was patented by William Schneider, Davenport, Iowa.
Ah.
Hey, why didn't I look this up for a thumbnail image right there? But yeah, good old carousel.
Yeah, look at that.
And that's like the one with like the horses and the places to sit and everything.
Yeah.
Not the one that you spin your friend on, at the playground.
Oh, right, no.
That's a
yeah.
merry-go-round. So
Yeah.
this is a carousel. It's a difference. So. 1883, the ship Marco Polo, once the fastest clipper in the world, ran aground on Prince Edward Island. Spectators of the event included Lucy Maud Montgomery. No idea who the heck that is. 1894, the first Sino-Japanese War began when the Japanese fired upon a Chinese warship. Yep. 1897, writer Jack London sailed to join the Klondike Gold Rush, where he wrote his first successful stories. Cool. 1898, first U.S. troops landed in occupied Puerto Rico at Guanica Bay. So during the Spanish-Stadian War, the Stadian invasion of Spanish-held Puerto Rico began as United States Army troops under General Nelson A. Miles landed and secured the port at Guanica. 1901, Emily Hobhouse addressed the public meetings in Britain about the concentration camps during the South African War. 1902, 3 years after winning the title from English boxer Bob Fitzsimmons, stadium champion James J. Jeffries repeated the feat with an 8th-round knockout in San Francisco for the heavyweight crown.
Okay.
1903, castle on top of Telegraph Hill, San Francisco, closed. And there it is right there. Yeah, that's the castle right there. So I image searched this, and
The tower still stands, I believe.
this Telegraph Hill.
Yeah, Telegraph Hill. Yeah.
You can't see the castle anymore, so it has to be gone. I looked it up on maps, and I couldn't see anything else around that tower. So I think they've since been demolished. But here's old images of the castle.
Look at that.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. What else do we got here? 1907, Korea became a protectorate of Japan. 1908, Ajinomoto Company was founded at Kikuani Ikeda of Tokyo Imperial University. Discovered that a key ingredient of kombu soup stock is monosodium glutamate, MSG, and patented a process for manufacturing it. So Ajinomoto was founded. Kikuani Ikeda of the Tokyo Imperial University discovered. Yeah, we got that one. And then they patented a process for manufacturing it. So good old MSG. Remember the whole thing about no MSG this, no MSG that, like during the 90s.
I don't remember that.
Stuff. You don't remember the whole MSG thing?
No.
No MSG thing. Here it is. There was a whole thing for a while. I'm surprised you don't remember, but it was it was banned and all that stuff,
Okay.
and there's advertisements promoting that their products do not have it, restaurants promoting that they don't have it. You know, a whole bunch of rigmarole. What else do we got here? Let me get rid of that. 1909, Francis Louis Blériot made first airplane flight across the English Channel. So Louis Blériot made the first flight across the English Channel in a heavier-than-air machine from Calais to Dover, England, United Kingdom, in 37 minutes. So that's pretty much like that's the shortest crossing right there.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. Yeah. Wow. So he like wandered all the way. Oh, that's cool. So he like flew over by the cliffs of Dover, just you know.
He may have got blowing that way too. There's a lot of wind and stuff that goes through there.
Might be, but I think he probably was doing a scenic thing, you know, as the first person really to fly there and like, you know, see the cliffs from the air rather than, you know, from the water or from the land, you know, like at the time very rare viewpoint. What else do we got here? 1909, begin of the tragic week in Barcelona in response to troop mobilizations for the Rif War. 1912, Comoros was proclaimed a French colony. 1913, a meeting in Johannesburg called by the South African Native National Congress, now the African National Congress, was attended by a large number of people from South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, and Swaziland. It's cool. So that sounds like the birth of the African National Congress, the ANC. So, yeah, cool. What else do we got here? Hold on a second. Take a look at these photos. I was trying to see if there was a good one. Yeah, I was trying to see if there was a good one here. You know, they're all black and white, and trying to see if anyone had one colorized. There we go, African National Congress. 1913 as well. Carl Whaleman struck out 6 times in a 15-inning game. Get him out of there. Pittsburgh Pirates future Baseball Hall of Fame outfielder Max Carey scored 5 runs without a hit, reaching first base on an error, and 4 walks as the Buccaneers, I guess, defeated the Philadelphia Phillies 12-2. 14, Germany's Social Democratic Party declared no German blood for Austrian tyrants in response to German support of Austria-Hungary. Huh. That sounds really interesting. You know, let me reread this. No German blood for Austrian tyrants. Well, you know, in just a few short decades, an Austrian tyrant is going to spill a lot of German blood, you know? I mean, they wouldn't let him spill paint, so he had to spill something. 1914, Serbia met the deadlines of Austria-Hungary's ultimatum and gave a conciliatory reply, though Serbia is mobilizing. Last day of club cricket for English legend W.G. Grace at age 66 made an unbeaten 69 runs for Ethem against Grove Park. Okay. 1915, the British captured Niagara from the Ottomans during the Mesopotamian campaign. You know, maybe that's why cricket is so confusing. Like, it's mainly played by old people, so they just make up shit on the spot because they all have Alzheimer's, you know? Like, they think that giant bat is just a big tongue depressor, you know? Like, makes sense now. 1916, explosion at Lake Erie and Cleveland Waterworks. Look that up here really quick just to see if there's any articles about it. Waterworks tunnel disaster? Like, maybe? So, I'll just throw this in here. Waterworks tunnel disaster / explosion ? So, if this is the same thing, let us know, and if it is, you know, how many people injured, dead, you know, how much cost was the damage, or anything like that. And if it wasn't, let us know if it wasn't, you know. So, and then let us know what was. 1917, Sir Thomas White introduced the first income tax in Canada as a, quote, temporary, end quote, measure, with the lowest bracket at 4% and the highest at 25%. Here we go. Here, the good old, it's temporary. What is it that you like to say?
Camel's nose under the tent.
Yeah. 1918, Annette Adams was sworn in as the first female district attorney in the U.S. and California. Why am I so surprised it happened in California? 1918, we have a race riot in Chester, Pennsylvania that killed 3 black people and 2 whites. Ooh. Yikes. 23, German mark devalued to 600,000 marks equals $1, I guess US dollar.
Yeah.
That's almost Zimbabwean levels of horrible. 1925, Telegraph Agency of the Soviet Union, the TASS, was established. 1930, Philadelphia Athletics triple steal in first and fourth innings against Cleveland. Wow. It's you know, they gotta arrest those guys, freaking kleptomaniacs over there. 33, a stadium jazz orchestra led by Duke Ellington performed in the first live radio concert in the Netherlands. Excellent. 34, a failed Nazi coup in Austria. The Nazis assassinated Austrian Chancellor Engelbert Dollfuss in a failed coup attempt. 36, a 115-acre orchard beach opened in the Bronx. There's that beach.
Wow.
Yeah. Doesn't even look like it's anywhere near New York. I mean, there's a couple tall buildings out there.
No.
This is in the Bronx? Like...
Doesn't look right, does it?
I know. It just... There's no way. Like... It shows me this again, in the image. There's like buildings here, almost looks like a resort. And there's this. I mean, I guess this might be in the Bronx. Like, hold on a second. Bronx map. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, yeah, Orchard City. Okay, it's right up here. So yeah, Manhattan is like way down here. So yeah, this is more rural up here. I mean, it's still all city and everything, but it's a lot. Like, when you get out of, like, Manhattan, New York, like, it turns into, like, countryside really quick. It's kind of wild. 1938, Jewish artisans were not allowed in Germany. It makes, look at the freaking Nazis. So, 39, New York Yankees starting pitcher Atlee Donald sets American League rookie record for consecutive wins, defeating St. Louis Browns 5-1 for his 12th consecutive victory. 1940, Stadion John Sigmund began what will be the longest solo swim of all time, swimming for 89 hours and 46 minutes from St. Louis to Caruthersville in Missouri and the Mississippi River, covering 292 miles. Wow.
Huh.
Holy crap.
You don't think of someone swimming down a river.
Yeah, well, like, we've covered that before, but, like, I wonder, like, if he gets out, takes a break, eats a sandwich, 89 hours, you drown, in that.
Yeah, you gotta break. You gotta stop it somewhere.
Yeah, that's over 3 days. That's 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, you have to take a break somewhere. Mom's time, 1941. 41-year-old pitcher Lefty Grove won his 300th and final MLB career game as the Boston Red Sox defeated the Cleveland Indians 10-6 at Fenway Park in Boston. All right.
So Lefty Grove was pitching when your mom was born.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Wow. Huh.
She was only a few days old, but still.
Yeah. In his final game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
his final win.
Yeah. Well... it says final MLB career game right here.
Oh, okay. I thought it said win.
Well, they did win, but it's his final game. Also his final win,
Okay.
1941 as well, U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt banned the sale of benzene and gasoline to Japan because, they're freaking lunatics. 42, the Norwegian Manifesto called for nonviolent resistance to the German occupation. 43, Benito Mussolini was dismissed as Italian Prime Minister and arrested on the authority of King Victor Emmanuel III. So, during World War II, Benito Mussolini was forced out of office by the king, encouraged by the Grand Council of Fascism, and was replaced by Pietro Badoglio. Alright. 43 as well, the first warship named after a black stadium was launched, USS Harmon, a Buckley-class destroyer.
Well, that's really cool. I had no idea there was a ship, and there should be.
Yeah.
Never thought about one way or another.
I mean, like, who cares what the color of the skin is?
Yeah, exactly.
If the guy did good, name a ship after him.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they did.
I hope, see, this is what pisses me off. Like, when you start focusing on, we need to have X amount of blacks, X amount of Asian, fuck off with that. Yeah. Have all amount of good sailors. To hell with whatever color they are. That doesn't matter. How do they operate a boat? What does the Navy matter? Does the Navy give a shit whether or not you're black or white or whatever? The water doesn't care. So
the only thing that works in anything is the best of the best move up. Period.
Yes, exactly. 93, during World War II, 136 Greek civilians were murdered by soldiers of the German 1st Mountain Division in the village of Moustris, Greece. I completely annihilated that in a bad way. I'm trying to find it here to show you that... actually, it's not even on the primary source, so I'll show you here. This village. 44, Japanese banzai attack on Guam. Operation Cobra, U.S. 6th and 8th Army Corps launched an assault on the continent's front. Why I read that? I wasn't even marked. During World War II, 1944, Operation Spring was one of Canada's bloodiest days, with 1,444 casualties, including 441 killed in a single day. So Operation Spring near Caen, one of the bloodiest days for the 1st Canadian Army during the war. We also have the first jet fighter used in combat, German Luftwaffe's Messerschmitt 262. That's this guy right here.
Look at that.
Yep, used in combat. So now we officially have jet age in combat on this date in 1944. That is a major.
I knew Germany had them. I didn't know we got it up in the air. That's England, right?
No, this is Germany.
That is Germany. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then my thinking's right.
I said German Luftwaffe.
Yeah, you did.
Messerschmitt 262.
And somehow I saw the insignia. I thought that was English.
Just across. No, that's German.
Yeah.
Like they usually have a swastika here, like right there.
Yeah.
That's what they actually look like. But because people want to bury history so we can repeat it for whatever reason, they erase things like that. So they find it offensive. Well, good. Be offended. That's the point.
Everything is in history. Offensive, good, everything.
Yeah. Anyway, Loons time. 1946, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis staged their first show as a comedy team at the 500 Club in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Yeah, good old. I've heard of these people.
Oh, they
Dean
were
Martin, Jerry
huge.
Lewis. I've seen this. This photo.
Absolutely huge.
He looks very familiar.
That's Jerry Lewis.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he looks like somebody in today's actor. Something's weird. There's a whole theory about actors who look like old paintings and everything. I gotta tell you about that later. 1946, the U.S. detonated an underwater atomic bomb at Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands, the 5th atomic explosion. It was the first underwater nuclear weapon test. 49, St. Louis Cardinals Stan Musial hit for the cycle, defeating Brooklyn 14-1. 52, Puerto Rico became self-governing in the U.S. Commonwealth. This is their Constitution Day. Or they became a self-governing U.S. Commonwealth. 1953, New York City transit fare rose from 10 cents to 15 cents. This is the first use of subway tokens. 56, 46 people died in a collision between the SS Andrea Dory and the MS Stockholm off the coast of Nantucket in heavy fog. Actually, from other sources, it says 45 miles south of Nantucket Island, the Italian ocean liner SS Andrea Doria collided with the MS Stockholm in heavy fog and sunk the next day, killing 51. Now, how do you die when it sinks the next day? Are you trapped?
Do
you just stay there and whoops,
Well, some may have been, when it got hit, there may have been 51 killed instantly. Who knows?
That would have been a crazy hit. 56, Jordan attacked.
Water in and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. Just seems weird. That high of a death toll when I don't know the whole story. 56, Jordan attacked UN Palestine force. And the Pittsburgh Pirates' Roberto Clemente hit MLB's first and only walk-off inside the park grand slam for a 9-8 win over visiting Chicago Cubs at Forbes Field. All right. 57, monarchy of Tunisia was abolished in favor of a republic, so the Tunisian king Mohammed VIII Al Amin was replaced by President Habib Bourguiba. 1957, Peter Loader took a cricket hat trick for England against West Indies at Headingley. I had to load that in, because he's the loader, So.
I got it.
58, the African Recruitment Party, the PRA, held its first Congress in Cotonou. 59, SRN-1 hovercraft across the English Channel from Calais to Dover in just over 2 hours. So that sounds like the same path that the aircraft took that we spoke on earlier.
Oh. But yeah.
And actually, did it take about the same time, 2 hours?
No, the other was 37 minutes.
Oh, okay. So, but still, I wonder if they planned if they intentionally did it as the first plane to cross and then the first hovercraft to cross.
It's probably the best route more than anything.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it's on the same day.
Oh, true.
Many years later.
True,
so I wonder if they planned to do it on the anniversary. Because you have there's boats, and then you have the first plane. Okay, now you have a plane boat, so it's a hovercraft.
Yeah.
It's between boat and plane. So that I don't know. Humans are weird with their connection things. 1961, in a speech, U.S. President John F. Kennedy emphasized that any attack on Berlin is an attack on NATO, and NATO is currently crumbling. 31, New York Yankees outfielder Roger Maris hit a home run, 37, 38, 39, and 40 off 4 Chicago White Sox pitcher in a doubleheader sweep at Yankee Stadium, New York City. Dang. 1963, Belgian Senate accepted law on language regulations. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of this really quick. Language legislation in Belgium, if anybody wants to look this up here. So throw this in the underbar section. Get the link, copy, paste. All right. Moving on up to 63, the United States, Russia, and Britain signed a nuclear test ban treaty. All right. 64, the Beatles' album A Hard Day's Night went to #1 and stayed there for 14 weeks. 65, Bob Dylan was booed by sections of the crowd of the Newport Folk Festival for performing with an electric guitar, beginning the era of folk rock.
I remember that. People were really pissed.
Here's my water, thank you. Yeah.
What's he doing up there with electric guitar, you know?
Would you mind elaborating for about 30
Well,
seconds?
you know who Bob Dylan is,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he was a folk singer. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden electric guitars coming out, you know, that's, I mean, the Beatles are electric guitars, everybody like that, fine. But they weren't ready, they felt betrayed.
Now, weren't people also like up in arms when What's-His-Face came out and played the Star Spangled Banner on electric guitar?
Jimi
Jimi
Hendrix.
Yes. Yeah, they got all pissy about that too. Which, like, I mean, some of the things, like, you know, when he got off, when he was just like, it's like, dude, enough with that. You play the thing solidly, you know, and then go wild after.
I don't think
like
the kids minded at the time. It was the
Yeah.
adults that were pissed.
Well, you know, adults are going to be adults, but like, you know, but that's why I said, like, I don't mind that he came out with the electric guitar, but during those sections where he just went off script,
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to listen to the national anthem. Please be respectful, you know, like, I almost find it as like, almost like he's trying to piss as many. He's trying to troll. Essentially, not only doing his stupid little, like, you know, during the national anthem of this country,
Yeah.
but he's doing it on electric guitar. So I'm wondering if he's trying to piss off people in 2 different ways or more. So I'm wondering, like, is he actually paying respect, or is he being a dick? So I don't know what to think about it.
What you think about it's an artist's interpretation, like it or not.
Anyway, 1966, Brian Jones' final performance as a Rolling Stone. So, what, did they settle down or something?
I think he may have died. I'm not sure.
Oh, well, that would stop the rolling. 1966, at least I hope so, unless he's rolling over in his grave. The Supremes released single You Can't Hurry Love. 1968, Pope Paul VI published the encyclical Humanae Vitae of Human Life, which rejects any artificial forms of birth control. I support that. We got to stay of nature to, you know, some degree. Technology, we're living in the age of hell right now. Like, if humanity survives, and if we aren't taken over by something, they're going to look back on these times not only as the age of idiocy, but the age where we were too smart for our own good at the same time, simultaneously somehow. 1969 as well, 70,000 people attended Seattle Pop Festival across 3 days. Performers included Bo Diddley, Flying Burrito Brothers, 10 years after, guess who? I don't know. Santana, okay. Tim Buckley, Baird's Ike and Tina Turner Review, Chicago Transit Authority, Chuck Berry, Led Zeppelin, and The Doors. Riders of the Storm. Right? He was a Door, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The song was.
Yeah. Like the singer, like, you were acquaintances with him, right?
Yeah.
Morrison. 1969, Edward Kennedy pled guilty to leaving the scene of an accident a week after the Chappaquiddick car accident that killed Mary Jo Kopesci. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
That this guy just ran away.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I wanted to talk about that back then, but by the time I thought about it, we were already well past it.
He really did. He really blundered.
Yeah.
Well,
it's not just a blunder. You don't do that. That's a human being, you know?
Exactly. You just don't do that. And, you know, you were talking about becoming a president of the United States. You were Kennedy, all that stuff. And you didn't handle the appropriate way in an emergency?
You know, maybe he's the reason why everything happened to the family.
Well,
you know?
most of it happened before that.
Well, like,
Both his brothers were already
Well,
gone.
time is only linear in our perception.
It's true.
So, you know, in all reality, time is actually, it all is happening at once. So maybe like it's a pre when this guy's a dickhead, you know, reparation for him being a dickhead before him doing it, if I'm making any sense. Anyway, 1969 as well, during the Vietnam War, U.S. President Richard Nixon declared the Nixon Doctrine, stating that the United States now expects its Asian allies to take care of their own military defense. This was the start of the Vietnamization of the war. 1970, Burt Bacharach and Hal David's song They Long to Be Close to You, as sung by the Carpenters, reached number 1. 71, the Song of War massacre was perpetuated by the Pakistan Army. I'm going to do a surface level scratch of this article. Song of War massacre. Let's see here. Sohagpur massacre. Put that in there. Massacre. There is no U in massacre. Mass killing of 187 civilians in the Myanmar district of East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh, during the Liberation War. The massacre was perpetrated by the Pakistan Army in Al-Badir, a paramilitary force opposing Bangladeshi independence. Following the massacre, Songapore became known as the Village of Widows. Wow, that's... Holy crap. I kind of wish I did not read that, but I'm happy I did. You know? That's horrible. 72, U.S. health officials concede black stadiums were used as guinea pigs in the 40-year syphilis experiment. This is what I keep telling you. Like, you know, like syphilis, this, that, like the black community was used as guinea pigs for a lot of things. Like, you know, like AIDS and all that stuff. That became an epidemic because I think it was the CIA, you know, maybe not the FBI, one of these government agencies. I'm going to say the CIA, but, you know, look this up. I think this has been validated through a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act thing, where, once again, like one of these 3 later government agencies did indeed intentionally infect a large portion of the black community of the United States with AIDS to kill them. Like, it was part of a genocide.
A large proportion.
A large proportion.
I can't
look it up. Look it up.
Okay.
You know, I'm not sitting here telling you to believe it. If you don't believe me, that's fine. I don't care. I just want you to use me as a springboard for your own self-education. That's not something anybody would really think about. So if you think about it, you know, look it up. I may be right, I may be wrong, whatever. But it happened, you know, to some degree. 73, George Harrison paid £1 million in tax on his Bangladesh benefit concert and album. Okay. 75, Marvin Hamlicious and Edward Cleben's musical A Chorus Line opened at the Shubert Theater in New York City, setting a record for the longest-running Broadway show with 6,137 performances and winning 10 Tony Awards. I don't care about the Tony Awards, but 6,137 performances. Now, I think that's been eclipsed by, like, you know, 12,000 or something. I think Cats certainly has beaten that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure. I think Hair has beaten that, too. Maybe Mamma Mia, I'm not sure. Why do I know so much about theater? I guess I'm a thespian. 1975, RCA released David Bowie's single Fame in the UK, featuring a cameo appearance by John Lennon, and it peaked at number 17. Alright, here it is, Fame. You know, we all know this song. Well, some of us do. So, what's his name again? David... Trying to get to the lyrics. There you go. Pardon me. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that in the actually the music channel really quick. Oh. What else? Some music. Here we go. Okay. What else do we got here? In 1976, Philip Glass and Robert Wilson's opera Einstein on the Beach. Oh, God, something's got me. Premiered at the Theatre Municipal in Avignon, France. That sounds like an interesting thing. Einstein on the Beach. I'd like to watch that. You know? In 76 as well, during the Viking program, Viking 1 took the famous Face on Mars photo. I do have a... Oh, not that one. There it is, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Which, like, I think that, like, it still exists. They just, they photoshopped it now, so that way it doesn't look like a face anymore. But, I mean, like... There's no way something is angled, you know, this well. I mean, you can call it pareidolia or whatever it is, but that's a statue face or something. You know, that's weird. Oh, what the heck is that? That's like another face
I don't
right
know.
there. It looks
That's
like it has a
pretty
hat
weird.
on. That can't be
I
right.
don't know what that is.
No, it's not there anymore. Okay, somebody photoshopped their own head in there for some reason. I mean, what if this is all chunks of a statue, you know,
Yeah.
that got exploded? We don't know. 78, John Lydon formed rock group Public Image Limited. 78, Pete Rose is a Cincinnati Reds set a National League record by hitting 38 consecutive games. 78 as well, the Cerro Maravilla incident, Puerto Rico police ambush and murder pro-independence activist Carlos Enrique Soto Aravi at the age of 18, and Arnaldo Dario Rosario Torres at 24. Initial investigation found no official wrongdoing, but later evidence resulted in 4 police officers being convicted of murder and 6 others of perjury and obstruction of justice. They just wanted to kill people, you know? Just absolutely.
And the others covered for him.
Yeah. Cerro Maravilla murders. So, let's put this in here really quick. Cerro Maravilla murders. If anybody wants to read on this horrible thing. 1978, birth of Louis Joy Brown, the first human who have been born after conception by in vitro fertilization, or IVF. Yikes. 79, 109 centimeters of rainfall in Alvin, Texas, state record. Alvin! In accord with the Egyptian-Israel peace treaty, Israel began its withdrawal from the Sinai Peninsula, only because they're being ordered to. 1980.
Well, they signed a peace deal.
Yeah, by international pressure, you know? Like, they can only get away with so much before people start realizing what their actual motives are. So, 1980, Atlantic Records and Albert Productions released Back in Black, the 7th studio album by AC/DC, their first featuring lead singer Brian Johnson. It was a worldwide smash, selling over 50 million copies.
Wow.
Nice. 81, anti-apartheid protesters in Hamilton, New Zealand, forced the cancellation of a rugby match between the provisional team Waikato and South Africa's Springboks by invading the pitch during the game. That's not cool. 83, first non-human primate, a baboon, was conceived in a lab dish in San Antonio. That's terrifying.
Whoa.
You know,
Yeah.
This is what they're telling us. You know, they can probably do that to humans. You know, they're just not telling us. 83, Megaforce Records released Metallica's debut album, Kill 'Em All. That's disgusting and violent. But it is Metallica, so. 83 as well, Washington Public Power Supply System defaulted on $2.25 billion. That's
Whoa.
not good. Power supply system, whoa. Fuck.
Sounds like Enron to me.
Well, that's way before. This is 83.
Yeah, well, wasn't Enron in the 80s?
No, Enron was like 2005 or something.
Oh,
Enron incident?
yeah.
Enron incident. Enron scandal, 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I was alive, and
Okay.
I remember when it was going on.
Okay.
So, 1983, Black July, 37 Tamil political prisoners at the Wailakia High Security Prison in Colombo were massacred by fellow Sinhalese prisoners. Prison riot. 84, cosmonaut Svetlana Savastskaya became the first woman to walk in space. That's awesome. Salyut 7 cosmonaut, became the first woman to perform a spacewalk. Excellent. 85, Uganda suspended constitution following a coup. 1986, Sikh extremists killed 16 Hindus in Mukhtar, India. Ayo's time.
Uh-huh.
Can I go through my life in negative 3 minutes?
Yeah.
We're already
I got
3
word
over. 87, R. Venkataraman became the 8th president of India. If you can pronounce that better than me, by all means, go for it. I'm trying to find it. Here we are. This name right there. Venkataraman. Okay. Venkataraman. It sounds like a superhero. 87, USSR launched Cosmos 1870, a 15-ton Earth observation satellite.
Jeez.
Yeah. 1990, Roseanne Barr sung the national anthem at Cincinnati Reds, San Diego Padres MLB game. And you know what? Because I love, my viewers so much, I'm going to subjugate you guys to this.
You're going to...
You see how she's walking out and she doesn't even want to listen to herself. all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Like, there's, I've already seen the whole thing, so I've already suffered the whole thing. Anybody out there watching, like, if you want to do a solid, like, watch the rest of that, just so that way we're both in solidarity, 1990 as well, U.S. ambassador told Iraq, U.S. will not take sides in Iraq-Kuwait dispute. Well, we will. 91 as well, Pittsburgh Steelers guard Terry Long was treated for an apparent suicide attempt after he learned he tested positive for steroid use. Wow. So not only was he a cheater, but when he was caught, he was too cowardly to face the consequences, so he tried to off himself.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So he's a loser, a coward, and a complete and total failure. He just sucks. 91, Seattle's Jay Buhner hit a 479-foot home run in Yankee Stadium. 92, we have the 25th Olympic Games, opened in Barcelona, Spain. Army refused to overturn a 127-year-old conviction against Dr. Mudd. What? Who's Dr. Mudd? What did he do?
126-year-old conviction.
Yeah.
127-year-old conviction.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He was a stadium physician who was accused of conspiring with John Wilkes Booth to assassinate Abraham Lincoln. Okay, that would do it. All right. Samuel Mudd.
Oh, I do remember the name. Yes, Samuel Mudd.
Ah, I know.
Yeah, he worked on what's his name? Yeah, when he broke his ankle or whatever.
John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
What?
Well, I don't know what to think, because we treat wounded enemy soldiers all the time in battle. Now, this wasn't like in battle, so it's not anything of an honor thing. So, I don't know. I'm going to side with the Army on this one. Screwed Samuel Mudd. What's his name backwards? It's dumb. So, what else we got here? 1993, Israeli offensive against terrorist bases in southern Lebanon. Israel launched a massive attack against Lebanon in what the Israelis called Operation Accountability, and Lebanese called the 7-Day War. 93, romantic comedy film Sleepless in Seattle, starring Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, and co-written and directed by Nora Ephron, was released. The St. James Church Massacre in Kenilworth, Cape Town, South Africa, by the Azanian People's Liberation Army. That does not sound good at all. I'm going to do a quick scratch of this really quick. St. James Church Massacre. Come on, give me the... There we go. Article here. 4 members of the Azanian People's Liberation Army, 11 members of the congregation were killed and 58 wounded. In 1998, the attackers were granted amnesty for their acts by the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. Friggin' monsters, dude. Like, church massacre. Friggin' terrible. What else we got here? 1994, Jordan and Israel ended 46-year state of war, Washington, D.C. So Israel and Jordan signed the Washington Declaration that formally ended the state of war that had existed between the nations since 1948. 95, a gas bottle exploded in St. Michael's Station of Line B in the RER, the Paris Regional Train Network, killing 8 and injuring 80.
Jeez.
Yikes. 97, Autumn Jackson was found guilty of trying to extort $40 million from Bill Cosby. Canadian rocker Rick Dango of the band got suspended, sentenced in Japan for drug smuggling. Carol O'Connor was found not guilty for slandering Harry Pazarian, whoever the hell either of those people are, whatever. 97 as well, K.R. Narayanan was sworn in as India's 10th president and the first Dalit, formerly called untouchable, to hold the office. Oh, okay, so one of those, like, the bottom of the bottom social, you know how someplace like India, they have like a social status.
Yeah. Okay.
An untouchable meant that you can't touch them. They're so disgusting of a underlying type of people that if you touch them, you become one of them. It's infectious. It's terrible what they think of their fellow Indians. Like how xenophobic these people are and everything. Oh yeah. So one of the lowest of the low now as a president. How times have changed. That is epic. Quarterback Brett Favre re-signed with Green Bay Packers for $50 million for 7 years. Scientists announced the first human stem cells to be cultured in a laboratory using tissue taken from an aborted human embryos. Yikes. Vincent the Chin. Gigante found guilty of racketeering in New York City. 99, the 86 Tour de France. Lance Armstrong won the first of 7 consecutive Tour de France titles, but was later disqualified for doping. In the year 2000, Air France Flight 4590, a Concorde supersonic passenger jet FBTSC, crashed just after takeoff from Paris, killing all 109 on board and 4 on the ground. So 113 people. That's terrible. Faced with declining oil prices in 2001, OPEC ministers agreed to cut crude oil production quotas by about 4%, or 1 million barrels per day. That's a lot. 2001, Phoolan Devai, a serving member of parliament, was assassinated by shooting in New Delhi, India. 2002, 17th Commonwealth Games opened in Manchester, England. 2007, Pratipani Patel was sworn in as India's first female president. I could have sworn that we already had India's first female president, but I don't know. 2010, British TV series Sherlock, created by Stephen Moffat and Mark Gatiss and starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, debuted. 2010 as well, WikiLeaks published classified documents about the war in Afghanistan, one of the largest leaks in U.S. military history. Let's just take a look at this Afghan war documents leak. So, let's see here. WikiLeaks Afghan war leak. I'll just put that there. Let's see. The logs consist of over 91,000 Afghan war documents covering the period between January 2004 and December 2009. Most of the documents were classified secret. As of July 28, 2010, only 75,000 have been released to the public. A move WikiLeaks said was part of a harm minimization process demanded by the source. Prior to the releasing the initial 75,000 documents, WikiLeaks made the logs available to The Guardian, the New York Times, and Der Spiegel in its German and English online edition, which published reports in line with an agreement made earlier the same day, yada yada. So this goes on a whole bunch of atrocities committed by the United States, war crimes, crimes against humanity.
Yeah.
Like, the United States is, like, it's the best humanity has done. It's still a colossal pile of shit. The best we can do is still shit. So, whatever. 2012, Italy's credit rating was downgraded to triple C+ by Ingen Jones. What does that mean?
Triple A is the best. Triple A+. Triple C is not good.
Is there anything worse?
Well, I'm sure there is.
Like
triple D.
Triple
I'm sure.
F? Like,
I don't know how far down it goes.
I don't know, man. I think a triple D would be pretty nice. 2012, the double dip recession. Speaking of double dipping, in the UK economy continued with a fall of 0.7% in GDP in the second quarter of 2012. So yeah, the UK economy returned to recession with a fall of 0.2 in GDP in the first quarter, following a fall of 0.3 in the last quarter of 2011. 2014, both Israel and Hamas review U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry's proposal for an immediate ceasefire at meetings in Cairo. Israeli airstrike killed leader of Islamic Jihad's military wing, Salah Abdul Hassanian. Palestinian officials called for a day of revenge, or a day of rage in the West Bank and within Israel against Israel's operation in Gaza. Israeli defense forces prepare for protests. 2015 UCI BMX Supercross Series, Nick Kidman and Stephanie Hernandez won the world title. Cool. 2016, England fast bowler Jimmy Anderson became the first quick to take 50 wickets against the all other 7 major Test cricket playing nations during the second Test against Pakistan in Manchester, whatever the hell that means. 2016 as well, Verizon announced a $4.83 billion purchase of Yahoo. That should be against the freaking Antitrust Act, 2017, Israeli authorities removed new metal detectors from Temple Mount / Haram al-Sharif after Palestinian protests amid rising tensions in Jerusalem. NGO ProPublica Open Arms rescued 167 African migrants off the coast of Libya, but 13 unfortunately died. 2016, sperm counts have halved in the last 40 years, according to research published in the Human Reproduction Update journal. It's terrifying. 2017 as well. Wildfires on France's Mediterranean coast near Bournemouth's Les Memoirs prompted evacuation of 12,000 people. Finally, in 2018, Georgian Representative Jason Spencer resigned after being fooled into saying racial slurs on Sacha Baron Cohen's Who is America TV series. I don't know. I don't like that. Sounds like he baited him and everything.
Sounds like we don't know the whole
so
crux of it. So
yeah. So
it could be sympathy or the guy's an idiot.
Sacha Baron Cohen is also, a freaking jackass. So
I don't know who he is.
He's the guy who played Borat and everything, I believe. Yeah, here, like he puts on blackface. He's a liberal. He's a piece of shit. So
that's amazing they try to do something like that to a liberal. I don't know who he is.
What do you mean to a liberal? No, Sacha Baron Cohen is the one who.
Oh, okay,
who,
yeah.
Like, he was the guy, and they're smart. They know what they're doing and everything. I think he baited Jason Spencer into saying racial slurs.
Could be.
In order to get rid of him because he didn't agree with him politically. You know how tricky the leftists are.
Well, if you got baited into it, shame on you.
Well, 2018, liquid lake found on Mars under its south pole by the European Space Agency's Mars Orbiter reported in Science. That's big. Liquid water on Mars?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Hold on a second. Water on... I found water on Mars. There it is. 2018, multiple suicide bombings and attacks by the Islamic State in Sweden and surrounding areas of Syria killed more than 200. Swida, I can't pronounce these words. Party of former cricketer Imran Khan, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf Party, the PTI, won the most votes but not a majority in Pakistan's general election, which was marred by violence and a bomb that killed 31 people. That would do it. Somalia's Attorney General announced country's first prosecution of female genital mutilation after death of a 10-year-old girl. What the hell?
No,
The kid had to go through this before he did anything? Frickin' Somalia, dude. Gross. 2019, city killer asteroid. 2019, okay. No, this is not okay. Between 187 to 427 feet. As an estimated diameter, or 57 to 130 meters. Passed by almost undetected, approximately 45,000 miles away from Earth, closer than the moon.
Whoa,
we didn't even see it coming.
Whoa.
A city, it could have hit a city and killed. It's a city killer, So it's not like it's going to blow the planet up, and it's not going to tickle either. We didn't even see it. Almost
40,000
undetected.
miles. That's like
45,000 miles.
Yeah,
the Earth is only 25,000 miles in circumference. So that's almost 2 Earths away. If you roll it out. So yeah, it's really close.
Yeah, very close.
We also have Governor of Puerto Rico, Ricardo Rossello, resigned amid scandal involving his leaked online chats. That will not end well. 2019 as well. High temperature records are set across Europe just one day after previous records set, with Paris at 42.6 Celsius, 108.7 Fahrenheit. Germany at 42.6 as well, in 108.6 Fahrenheit, so they're off by 1. The Netherlands at 40.7, it's 105.2 Fahrenheit, and Belgium at 40.6 as well, 105.2 Fahrenheit. It looked really hot. 2019, highest UK temperature, we got that one, yada yada. Recorded in Cambridge, England. The record was broken in 2022. 2019 as well, U.S. Justice Department announced the resumption of the use of the death penalty, scheduling 5 executions. About time. Worst Mediterranean migrant drownings of the year. Boat carrying 250 people capsized off Libyan coast, with over 100 feared drowned. 2020, cargo ship MW Wakishio ran aground off the coast of Mauritius and began leaking oil. 2020, Hurricane Hannah, first of the 2020 season, made landfall on the Tejas Gulf Coast as a Category 1 storm. North Korea reports first suspected case of Kung Flu in the city of Kaesong. 2021, Australia won women's 4x100-meter relay for 3rd straight Olympics as Bronte Campbell, Meg Harris, Emma McKeon, and Kate Campbell set a new world record of 3 minutes, 29.69 seconds in Tokyo. Crikey, put that shrimp on the barbie, bloomin' onion. Evian Championship Women's Golf, Evian Resort Golf Course. Australian Minjae Lee recovered from 7 shots behind to defeat South Korea's Lee Jangwon in a playoff first major title. We also have Japanese Judoka Uda Abe, women's 52 kilogram. and her brother Hefemi, men's 66 kilogram, made history as the first siblings to win Olympic gold medals in different events on the same day at the Tokyo Games.
Oh.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Japanese skateboarder Yuto Horigomi won the sport's inaugural Olympic gold medal in the men's street section at the Tokyo Games. Dude, skateboarding in the Olympics? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The breakdancing does not belong in the
what?
Olympics. Breakdancing.
No.
That does not, and I'm not talking about that stupid, lady bouncing around. That's literally what she did. Like, that was her breakdancing. She called it kangaroo style or something because she's from Australia.
I don't even know what that
Yeah.
is.
Oh, it was so. Oh, hold on a second.
I don't want
gotta
to see it.
Oh, it's terrible. Like, hold on a second. Olympic breakdancing, terrible. Let's see. I'm just gonna. I can't fast forward this to the terrible part. So, oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what she's always yawning and everything. I'm trying to find when she actually does a move. Yeah, do you see that? What the hell is that? Like, what is that? How is that breakdancing? What are you doing?
No, that's just a bunch of crap.
Yeah, that's crap. And she won, I think.
No way.
I think she did. Yeah.
No.
No, like, just terrible. So, but skateboarding actually does belong. And breakdancing, it's not that it doesn't belong because of that
No,
bitch.
it's not that.
It's not a sport, It's a recreation. Let's see here. 2021 USA men's basketball team saw its 25-game Olympic winning streak end, defeated 83-76 by France in a first-round match in Tokyo. What? We lost to France in basketball? It's a dog. We got to have a rematch. 2022, United Nations said 209 people were killed in gang violence in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, including no gang members over 10 days, with a further 254 injured with gunshot wounds. Holy crap. 2023, scientists say a crucial Atlantic Ocean current is near collapse as the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation could reach its tipping point in the middle of this century. Brandon signed a proclamation establishing the Emmett Till and Maine Till Mobley National Monument, located at 2 sites in Mississippi and 1 in Illinois. Emmett is a black teen abducted and murdered in 1955 while vacationing in Mississippi, and his mother, Mamie, pushes for civil rights legislation after his death. Okay, that, I can agree with on the surface level.
Yeah.
There has to be some liberal bullshit tying in behind this, but I kind of side with him on this, with Joe Biden. Okay. 2024, Piano Man singer Billy Joel performed his 150th and final show of his 10-year, once a month residency at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Mexican Sinaloa cartel head Ismael El Mayo Zambada, uncaptured for 35 years, was tricked into being captured in the U.S. in a sting masterminded by the son of El Chapo, his former partner. Betrayal. 2025, just this point last year, Oakland Athletics infielder Nick Kurtz became first rookie in MLB history to hit 4 home runs in a game during 15-3 win over the Astros at Dowkin Park in Houston, Texas. You gotta be careful when pronouncing this guy's name. Nick Kurtz. Yikes. If you say it too fast, you say the N-word.
Oh.
Yes, say it fast in your head. You can hear it. That's not good. Yikes. Anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the other part of the description for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things on the Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis, and we can only bring you a portion from 2 sources. We have gone through all 43 pages of our document in 1 hour and 23 minutes. We've done it. High five.
Yes.
What's the code today for the
Heat.
audience? Heat. Yes, put heat. You said that really loudly. Heat! Yeah, they're locked and loaded, man. Let us know that you're still watching. Anyway, for your dose of Fast Events Daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time every day, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectfully. For all of you and all of us, I am Alexander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, and until you catch us next time, whenever it is, wherever it is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! I'm going to go get some meatloaf.
Ooh, yeah.